Hello friends and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Today we got ourselves a Blu-ray review of It Chapter 2 in glorious 4K. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you live talking by movies. But anyway, so as you can see here, I got myself the 4K Ultra HD edition, just the basic one, no steelbook or anything like that. But I actually do really like the simplicity of this design here. It's just a simple white cover with Pennywise's face just bleeding out of it. And actually sitting here talking about It Chapter 2 on Blu-ray is kinda cool because back in January of 2018 when I did my 4K Blu-ray review for the first It movie, that was the first video I made with the rebranded The Brockopp Side channel. Back then it was called something different, so yeah, it's kind of cool how it's almost a full year later and we're here talking about it. But anywho, so anyway, if we just take off Mr. Slipcover here. So as you can expect, you got your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc, but what's actually really cool is that if you take this part out, you can see there's another disc. So yeah, all the bonus content is on a completely separate disc, which is usually a pretty good sign when it comes to home video releases. And also, I don't know if this is like a new type of case or anything, but this one just feels like extra sturdy and just, I don't know, just something about this case just feels extra nice to me. And of course, here's the digital download copy code. If it's first can have it. Enjoy yourself, because if you do, well then, you'll float too. There's also a little code for a survey on here if you want to, like, you know, send your opinion to Warner Brothers, which, you know, it's like, I'm not gonna do that shit. It's what I make videos for. So before we go any further, I'll give my thoughts on the movie itself, because unfortunately, much like It Chapter 1, I didn't do a review of it when it initially came out in the theater. But yeah, I liked It Chapter 2 now. I do think it's maybe not quite as good as the first movie. You know, the first movie was just this really well-made, creepy, atmospheric horror film with these really great child actors going up against this scary killer clown. But, you know, this movie, it's really cool to see them with their adult versions coming back together, you know, to fight this evil once and for all. And the adult cast himself is freaking great. You know, Bill Hader, James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain. These guys are all great in the movie, and of course Bill Hader definitely steals the show in every scene he's in as the adult Finn Wolfhard, essentially. And you know, it's got some really cool visual scares here and there, not quite as potent as in the first movie, but really this is one of those movies that's just kind of, it's one of those movies where I feel like it's best to watch it back to back with It Chapter 1, so that way you kind of get the full scope of the entire story at once. So I feel like if you let this sit for a little bit and then watch the first movie, then come into this one, you might like it a little bit more. And one of the common complaints I've heard about this movie is that some of the fears that the adults have are kind of repetitive from when they were kids, which, yeah, I mean, of course, when you do get older, you do kind of get over some of your childhood irrational fears, but, you know, you can see that these adult characters kind of never got over those, so it does more or less make sense. And also they were attacked by a killer clown, so I feel like if you can't get over that, how are you gonna get over leprosy and germs and things like that? But anywho, picture and sound quality, the movie looks really nice in 4K, just like Chapter 1. And as far as bonus content goes, there's actually a reasonable amount here. So on this bonus disc, it comes with two 30-minute documentaries about both movies. So you get one 30-minute documentary about, you know, the kids in It Chapter 1, and, you know, like, the experience of them coming together to make this movie, becoming fast friends, things like that. And then we see another 30-minute documentary that talks about It Chapter 2 and the adult counterparts, you know, basically playing the adult versions of these child actors, taking inspiration from them and just recreating that experience 27 years later. So seeing two lengthy documentaries like that was really cool, gave some nice insight. Not a whole lot new information-wise as far as the kids side of things goes, because, you know, we've probably all heard the stories about how they became, you know, really fast friends and how they weren't allowed to interact with Bill Skarsgård because they wanted to keep the fear and the tension of seeing Pennywise fresh. But it was really cool to learn about the adult actors, you know, taking the reins on the child actors to play these characters. And that's also where some of the shorter, like 5-10 minute featurettes come in. There's a few of those here as well. We kind of get to learn a few fun facts about this movie. Like, for instance, I had no idea it was Finn Wolfhard's idea to have Bill Hader play him as an adult in this movie, and it was actually his suggestion that got Bill Hader the part. That's actually pretty cool. So it was just really cool to learn different insights on the both adult actors and the child actors playing the same character in different time periods, and how it just kind of all came together rather perfectly. You know, I mean, the character was not exactly the movie. The movie does kind of fall flat in a couple of areas, but you know. So, those are my thoughts on It Chapter 2 on Blu-ray. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you live, talk, and buy movies. But anyway, so, if you guys picked up It Chapter 2 on 4K, then type on down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.